Alrighty, we are back. We're back in action. So we completed our first story, I guess. We saw the entity that is the princess and the princess that is the entity. And we have been told that we are similar to them, which means that's probably playing a part in the video game later. I'm not sure how we're gonna go on with this one now. Are we just gonna slay her now and then see what happens?
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
We had all those things, I think. So... let's go all in. We've always wanted to offer Monarch.
That's the spirit.
That's the spirit.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Proceed into the cabin. We're gonna stab her now.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
Let's enter the basement. Let's do what the game title says us to do.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
That's different. That is different.
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Hey, I think I'm here to kill you.
Oh, are you now? Why don't you come down and let me take a look at you?
This game should be called Talk the Princess, because there's severe lack of slaying going on. I mean, that's our fault. We were going with the non-slaying for the first hour.
Great job. You gave away the element of surprise. Good luck, hero.
Thank you, narrator.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Focus on the task at hand.
You weren't kidding when you said you were here to kill me.
I haven't decided yet.
How about you drop the knife and the two of us just talk?
Damn.
Look how reasonable she's being. We should just drop the blade and talk things out.
No.
Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster, but killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
Tighten your grip.
You ignore the trembling in your hands and tighten your grip on the blade.
You poor thing. Your hands are shaking. Are you scared of me? Because you should be.
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
Well, that's definitely a different princess.
I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
I kinda wanna find out, though.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
Are you sure she's not armed?
I'm positive. I'm not. But we'll keep our eyes peeled. If she has a weapon, she'll have to draw it before she can use it.
Hesitating? Why don't you drop the knife and the two of us can be civilized with each other?
She can murder me any day. I'm not dropping the blade.
Then I'm not talking to you.
Good for you. Slay the
Charge
princess.
the princess, blade in hand, but unfortunately your earlier suspicions proved correct. A blade of her own slips down her sleeve and catches you in the neck. Blood sprays from the cut, your severed carotid artery painting the princess with strokes of red. You'd better finish your task quickly before you run out of time.
Finish the job.
With the last bit of your will, you press forward, sinking the blade deep into the princess's heart.
Well, now I feel bad.
Oh,
The two of you collapse on the floor together, rapidly bleeding out.
somehow I thought this would turn out a little differently. But I wonder, do you really think that this was enough to stop me?
It's like she's convinced she can't die. But you don't have time to worry over such things. Everything goes dark, and you die.
What a shame. Chapter 2, The Razor.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
I already slew the princess. Sure, she also killed me, but I definitely got her. Why am I here again?
I can assure you that you didn't slay her and that she didn't kill you. People don't just spring back to life after dying, and the two of us are meeting for the very first time. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
This whole thing's a crock of shit. She's just going to pull a knife out of nowhere and stab us again.
Stabbed to death? Well, you won't have to worry about that. The princess is unarmed.
Yeah, that's exactly what you told us last time. When we asked you if you were sure she didn't have a weapon on her, you said you were positive she didn't. But it turns out she did, because when we charged her, she started stabbing us to death.
Calm down. I assure you she has no weapons, so there's no reason to fear her. You were made for this job. You'll do just fine. Those are two very different questions, but fine. Let's say
I'm
for
pretty
a
sure we
moment that
already
this
listened
really
to
is
this
the
one.
second time you've met me, or at least a version.
Yes, you are Little Princess.
You died last time, which probably only happened. We did exactly what you said. Sounds to me like you probably had some kind of elaborate nightmare, in which case I shouldn't be held accountable for what supposedly happened. But congratulations, you've been given a chance to actually do this right. And I believe your other question was something along the lines of, oh, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last
Okay, we
time
did
around
have that
didn't
one
have any
too.
consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. We stabbed the princess stabbed us, and now everyone's right back to where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? Had you failed to slay the princess, what would have happened to everyone in the place you left?
Screw this. Who cares what happened to everyone else? She's not going to play fair, so we should do what we can to save ourselves and just get out of here.
At least you know not to trust her, but you do realize that everything and everyone includes you, right?
What,
If you
me?
turn around and leave, you're dooming yourself as well as everyone else. She just caught us by surprise last time. She can't do that twice. So long as we're careful, we can win this. That's the spirit. Just keep that stiff upper lip, and you'll save the world in no time at all.
Turn around and leave.
And away we go.
Good call. Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going?
Nope. I definitely know where I'm going. Man, there's so much stuff here. Holy hell. We're not going to the cabin. We're not going to the cabin. Yeah, I definitely know where I'm going.
Somehow I doubt that, but fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin. That's strange. It looks like this path
Rude.
also leads to the cabin. How convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all.
Why does the voice of the cheated sound like Patches from the FromSoft games? I have no idea who that is. Turn around again and leave again.
You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you?
Yes.
It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. If you don't do your job, everyone dies. Like, dies. Forever. But fine, you turn around and trek back down the path you came.
Wait, something isn't right. Can you still hear me? You're supposed to wind up back at the cabin again. But everything is getting fuzzy.
Uh-oh.
What's going on? Where are we? That son of a bitch flipped over the table, didn't he?
The world around you is unwound. Its physical matter replaced by a textured nothing. You find yourself in the long quiet once again. Memory returns. There's a distant rumbling, the sound of many sounds. Undulations pulse louder as something other comes close. You already know what dwells in the empty spaces. Feelers probe across the fabric of reality. Extremities find your consciousness and wrap themselves around it. You are no longer alone. Confusion. Why are you here? I am unfinished. Resistance. Fingers drag claws across the glass surface of your soul. Frustration. This vessel is full of you. It is useless to us if it doesn't bring more gifts. Force pushing against your will. No. You cannot go back. Not there. Regret. This world is broken beyond repair. We must weave something new. A wagging finger. There is only so much thread in this place. Do not waste it. I am your only salvation. Get back to chapter 1, I guess. This is a visual
You're on
novel,
a
yes.
path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Okay, we already got all of this. I'm pretty sure. Silently continue to the cabin.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within.
That explains why there's no pew-pew or stabby-stab or anything. The good thing about this one is that he doesn't have to read it all himself. Yeah. Not having to read all of that is really helpful. Especially since I'm self-aware about my accent and stuff.
We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
So if I push skip, does it skip until the part of something that I haven't heard yet, or until the next choice, or how does that work here? Proceed into the cabin.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The blade is your implement.
Yeah, we're gonna take the blade.
You take the blade from the table.
And then we're gonna go to the basement again. We're gonna try and talk it out with her
The door
now.
to the basement. Her voice carries up the stairs.
It skips to the next line of dialogue.
Who's there?
Okay, if I skip now... Okay. Does it skip text that I have not seen yet? Hi.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down.
I should have checked
You
the
walk
settings earlier.
downstairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, skip unseen text. And the game doesn't allow you to make the same choices twice. Okay. Usually games like this have an option for unseen text stuff, so we're gonna take this here. Are you here to kill me or something? Nuh-uh.
Then drop the knife.
We should. It'll go a long way to building trust with her. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster. But killing someone in cold blood.
Okay, I'm pretty sure we had that. We're gonna drop the knife.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face, unarmed.
Okay, I'm gonna quick save here. Quick save complete. Now I'm gonna click on skip. It's skipped. Okay, let's quick load.
Against your better judgment, we'll be fine.
So, unread dialogue is not a thing, sadly, apparently. That's
I don't
sad.
know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
Okay. Wait, hold on. If I take that away, then I should not be able to skip, right? Never mind.
I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reason.
I'm trying to find the right thing, so... It's fine. We're gonna listen to them. It's fine.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship. How would I get you out of here?
You can't. Don't bother.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here, and if there isn't... well, we can always put that knife to good use.
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of the blade. She isn't suggesting what I think she's suggesting, right? She is. I'm sure of it.
What's your name?
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
Note the lack of detail. You can't trust her.
There's people out there who think you're going to end the world. What do you have to say about that?
Don't just tell her that.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here a long time.
Just how long has she been down here?
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so dangerous?
I was hoping you tell me.
Ending the world seems like an awful lot for just one person to do. I wouldn't even know where to start.
I believe her. She doesn't have to know how to destroy the world to be capable of doing it.
At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why. That doesn't sound right to me. And I don't think it sounds right to you either. Otherwise, we'd be killing each other instead of talking.
She has a point. There's a reason I've been telling you to question the situation, and there's a reason you've listened.
So, I could tell you that I'd lead a quiet life in the woods, or that I'd open an orphanage, or that I'd do any other number of good things that I'm sure you think you want to hear. But you don't really know me, do you? What can my word possibly be worth in a situation like this?
She's right about one thing. Her word isn't worth anything.
Like I said, it's all about trust. Blind trust. So do you trust me, the prisoner, the victim, the princess clearly incapable of ending the world? Or do you trust whoever put me here?
God, I hate this.
She's wrong. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch no less.
How long have you been down here?
Too long. Don't jump to any weird conclusions. We're two people who have met each other. By definition, we have a relationship.
Okay, we've talked enough.
Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here.
Yeah, let's get her out of here, it's fine.
You have to be kidding me. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
If you don't have the key, maybe you should go looking for it. I'm sure it's somewhere upstairs.
Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
Let's go upstairs, it's fine.
I'll be here.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top...
Okay.
Is someone else here?
That's the same thing, okay. Return to the bottom.
You make your way back to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd simply slain her like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they? The knife. Pick it up and cut me out of here.
You won't like what happens if you do that.
Save the princess!
Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the princess. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp and you make quick work of it. Before long, you're able to crack through bone, and she pulls the bleeding stub of her arm through the iron gauntlet. She didn't so much as utter a sound. Free from her bindings, the princess turns to face you, her fierce gaze meeting your eye. How is she so composed after losing an arm?
So, does it
So
end up
she
being the
isn't
same
even
thing,
bothered by
or...
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't, as the princess
okay,
approaches.
so it's the same
This isn't
thing.
fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
Warn her.
Stop that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Oh well.
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into her back, but the princess swiftly moves out of the way before you can connect. Stop it. Stop resisting me. I am trying to get you out of here alive.
Should we slay her now? I mean, we resisted last time, right? Then we died. Let's resist
The
this one.
blade. Move the blade.
You're doing your best to help me, aren't you? I can see the conflict in your eyes. I'll make this quick.
Uh-huh.
She steps forward and pries the blade from your rigid hands.
Maybe I'll see you in another life.
And then she slits your throat with an almost clinical ease.
I mean, at least she knows how to kill me now. If you still can do this, you can go different path later.
Her face remains unchanged as she watches you collapse to the ground, blood flowing from your butchered
True
neck.
that.
This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die. I hope it was worth it.
Okay, so the question is, how do we collect...
You're on a path in the woods.
How do we
And
collect
at the end
the
of that path
princess,
is a cabin. And
like,
in the basement
pieces
of that cabin
for the entity thing?
is a princess.
Like, the last time we have one princess there, that's the submissive one that we brought up there, right? And that was because we escaped her and we died? So does this happen the same way here?
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Okay. Proceed to the cabin.
My
No.
tricks? What on earth are you talking about? We've just met for
Yeah,
the
just
first
keep
time.
going and see. Yeah, I'm just trying to wrap my head
Don't
around
forget
it,
what he
that's
did
all.
to us the last time around. I wouldn't trust a word out of his mouth. There's got to be a way out of here, for us and for the princess. We just have to keep trying. I'm inclined to agree. If he doesn't remember what happened last time, maybe it's best to... You know I can hear you two, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. And as far as trying to help her goes, need I remind you how catastrophically dangerous she is to the world at large? I told you about the stakes of this situation less than a minute ago. Those are two very different... Let's say for a moment that this... You died last time. The absolute irony. Well, that's one way to put it, I guess. You really don't remember what happened last time, do you? You practically forced the princess to kill us. That doesn't sound like the sort of thing I'd do. Which is honestly all the more reason for you to not buy into whatever self-delusions the three of you are crafting. But this is a thought experiment, so I suppose I'll continue to give you the benefit of the doubt. If I did practically force the princess to kill you, it was probably for a good reason. Did you try and free her? Did you say something really mean to me?
I would
Because
never
if
be
I
mean
really
to
did
you.
what you said I did, you probably deserved it. I'm a professional, after all. Sure you are.
Sure you
Anyway,
are.
I believe your second question was, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequence. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequence. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, if it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? What a conveniently ambiguous group of things for her to ruin. For all we know, the princess left the cabin and never saw another soul. Oh, how I wish that were the case, but if the princess weren't a certain, inevitable threat to the world, the four of us wouldn't be here. And yet, here we are.
Also makes me think, why is it 4 people? That's the thing I don't really understand.
You're talking in circles. No, I'm talking in facts.
Okay, let's talk
Just
about
be
this
quick about
princess.
She just can. Believe me, I wish I could tell you more, but you'll just have to trust that what I'm saying is true, and that, despite it all, you're fully up to the task that's been given to you. You haven't given us an ounce of proof. You do know that, right? What proof could you possibly ask for? Literally anything. Fine. Check your pockets.
Pockets? We have pockets?
You put your hands in your pockets
The
and pull out
evidence.
an envelope with the words, "The Evidence," written across the front.
Okay.
Within, you find a note in your handwriting. It reads, "The princess will end the world if you don't stop her. This is an immutable truth." That doesn't prove anything. How
Oh
do we
my
know
God.
you didn't just forge our handwriting? I wish I could tell you more, but there are some rules I have to follow for all our sakes. Please just trust that these rules are in place for a reason. I'm on your side. You mean you're on our side as long as we do what you tell us to? Exactly. Because you not doing what I tell you to do means you're putting the world at risk. I think we've got everything out of him we're gonna get.
Okay, that's all.
Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin.
Let's go.
A warning. Before you go any further. She will lie. She will... Yes, don't believe a word she says. Just go in, take the knife, and do what you're supposed to. Wink. Did you just say wink out loud? No, I didn't. Wink.
Oh my god.
Just ignore this clown and focus on the princess.
Let's go into the cabin.
The interior of the cabin is less a cozy woodland retreat and more like a dungeon. A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate the cold, uninviting stone walls, and thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows, reminding anyone who enters that this is a prison. The only furniture of note is an iron table, bolted to the floor. The blade is your implement. You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer.
Maybe I should have ignored it.
You
by the
reach
way.
forward and rub it. But there was a mirror a second ago, and now it's gone. If he doesn't want us to know about it, it must be important. We should keep our eyes peeled. Maybe it'll be back.
Take the
Take
blade.
the blade for a good idea. Much better to be up.
And let's go down. Okay, so the thing with the mirror is maybe you have to
Door
place
to
the,
basement
princess
creaks
in front
open,
of the mirror or
revealing
something.
an old stone staircase. Her voice, harsh but controlled, carries up the stairs.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs. It's been a while since I've had company.
Does she remember us? You walk down the
Oh,
stairs
damn.
and lock eyes with the princess. She looks up at you, the heavy collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves. The chains binding both her wrists to the far wall, joining the metallic chorus as she adjusts her hands in her lap. So much for cutting her out of here. Do you hear yourself right now? Cutting her out of here never should have been on the table. Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? Odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose, there would be something so obviously useless. That was there last time too, wasn't it? It was.
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
You step towards the princess, but she stops you before you get too close, holding up one shackled hand.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted this out.
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon. Might as well put her at ease. You do as she asks and sit on the floor, still a good distance away from her.
We're gonna die here. Welcome back, Lucas. Good job.
Thank you.
I'm happy for you.
Now, what are your intentions for me?
Happy Monday to you.
Oh, are we acknowledging that? I thought we weren't going to give away the game. But yeah, I remember.
I
Giving
guess what
away
you
the
said
game.
back in the woods really was true. As much as I would like to remain in denial, it's no use. This has complicated things. It's complicated things how, exactly? Ideally, this was supposed to be one and done. You go to the cabin, you heroically slay the princess, and in the process you save the entire world from being damned to oblivion. The situation right now, where you're getting a second shot at things, is a contingency.
A contingency for what?
For you failing, obviously. And you being here means that things are going to be a lot harder than they were. I really shouldn't say anything else, I'm just going to make it worse. Just good luck.
Now hold on, if you knew this could happen, why didn't you believe us back in the woods? Why lay out all those hypotheticals? We didn't have to talk in circles.
I needed you to believe this was your first time here, even if that wasn't the truth. I hoped if I pushed back hard enough I could cram this seeping mess back into the bottle. And maybe I wanted to be the first version of me that you met. I didn't want to be confronted by the alternative.
Maybe I wanted to be the first version of me that you met.
That's pathetic. I never said I wasn't. I get it. It would be pretty upsetting, wouldn't it? To know that you might not be the first version of yourself. At least we can remember what happened before. Seems like we should count ourselves lucky for that. Exactly, he gets it. You're lucky, so don't waste that luck by messing it up again. Alright?
Moving on. Why is it important for us to be ignorant? How is it ever helpful to be in the dark?
The more I say, the more your mind will swim into dangerous waters. Even saying that is too much. Your success hinges on you having imperfect information. For the sake of the entire world, you need to accept that.
This is so
I
weird.
won't.
Fine, but you won't get another word from me on the matter.
Yeah, sure. We'll see about that.
Just give it a rest, this isn't helping.
Focus. This is a serious situation. You shouldn't be daydreaming.
So she isn't aware that we have the narrator in our head? That's interesting. What happened after I died last time?
Nothing happened. You died. I went upstairs. I couldn't leave. I found myself in a new place in chains again. More of them.
That's
and now
it.
you're back.
Is that really all she knows?
It's not like we have much of a clue about how things work. And she's probably even more in the dark than we are.
You're looking at me like I might be hiding something. I'm not.
I guess it's possible she really doesn't know anything. Maybe both of us are stuck in this loop without any idea why or how.
That other chain on the wall, who is it for?
I don't know, but you could always try it on. Maybe it'll fit.
I hope I don't actually have to say this, but please don't lock yourself in chains.
I kinda
We need
want
you
to, though.
ambulatory if you're going to save the world.
I kinda want to though. What would you have me do?
Let me borrow that knife. Don't worry, you'll get it back.
That's ominous.
But she seems confident. Whatever it is she has planned, I think she knows what she's doing.
Oh please, she's just putting on an act to disarm you. That much should be obvious. In case you need to hear a voice of reason, it would obviously be unwise to give away your only weapon.
Though if she isn't bluffing, whatever she has planned might be for her benefit alone. There's no guarantee that what's good for her is good for us.
So, what should we do?
I don't know. I'm just spelling out our options, listing the pros and cons.
Then let me help you. I'll start with the cons. If you're handing her your weapon, the cons are that she might use it to escape and end the entire world. And she might use it to kill you.
We're gonna die either way, so whatever.
That doesn't sound great. What about the pros? There are none.
The pros are that we can't trust him, possibly even more than we can't trust her. And whatever she has planned could do something to mess with what he has planned. Or maybe they're both screwing us over in their own ways.
Well, that's great. Let's inspect the shackle.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
And why is that?
Do I even need to explain myself? It's a shackle and it's one without a key. Do you want to be stuck here like she is?
And what? Is it going to lock the second we put our wrist into it?
I don't know. Maybe it will. He doesn't want us to look at it. That's all the reason we need to investigate.
Yeah, damn right.
But what if he's telling the truth?
He isn't.
I am.
Inspect the shackle.
Against your better judgment, you approach the chain dangling from the far wall. The princess watches you with faux disinterest as you inspect it, though she can't fully hide her curiosity. I don't want to say what I'm supposed to say next.
Oh boy.
What is that supposed to mean? It sounds bad. Is it bad?
Yes, it's bad. Come out and say it then. You're just wasting time.
Fine. As you hoist the shackle, its heft shifts within your grasp, as if pulled by some odd magnetism. Before you can so much as blink, it practically leaps from your hands, snapping around your neck.
Her face is saying everything.
And, as if your situation weren't bad enough, the same magnetism repels your blade, which is flung from your hand and sent skittering across the floor of the basement.
This is really convenient for you, isn't it?
Excuse me? Yes? Are we stuck here now? Yes.
Oh, great.
Huh, so it does fit. And I guess it doesn't like your knife. We're stuck here together, aren't we? That's funny.
That is indeed funny.
What are we supposed to do now?
Can't even cut ourselves out. Guess we'll starve.
That's horrible.
It's not all bad. We learned a valuable piece of information.
Not to touch things we're specifically told not to touch.
No, that there's something special about this loose chain. It's clearly important.
No.
What should we do?
Wait, I guess. Maybe something else will happen. Maybe not.
Not one for small talk, are you?
Nope.
That's rude.
So we're both stuck here.
You and the princess wait in silence, though neither of you knows what you're waiting for. But you're waiting for something. You're waiting for anything.
Yeah, she's so done.
This is so boring.
I have that effect on women.
There must be something we can do to get out of here. There must be something we're missing.
But there isn't. Time passes. It passes and passes and passes. And the basement of the cabin remains much the same. It is cold and silent.
Me neither, Lucas.
At least the world is safe. It isn't. You're stuck. Too far away from both the princess and your blade to do much of anything. But she's not ending anything. She's just sitting there. Her very existence is a threat. It harms everything around it.
How exactly does that work?
It just does.
But
your line of questioning is interrupted by the passage of even more time. And after that, even more time passes again.
Even more time passes.
And let me guess, the cabin remains the same.
If time is passing, the cabin can't be the same. Even if the differences are small, they have to exist. That's just how things work.
I suppose you're correct. Things are changing. The differences are small at first, a bit of weathering here, a bit of erosion there. But then they get larger and larger.
Have you noticed the basement changing?
I don't like small talk, remember?
Still rude.
Still rude.
You continue to...
That doesn't make
Oh,
sense.
shit.
Has our entire concept of time changed?
I skipped something, I'm sorry.
What happened to starving? We should have died by now if the rocks around us are starting to erode.
She hasn't starved.
I guess she hasn't.
Even more silent time passes as you watch roots push themselves through the increasingly porous walls of the basement. Dirt seeps inside, flowing across the stone floor like a liquid, covering the ground and threatening to swallow you both. Time continues to pass,
and pass and pass until suddenly there are no walls. And then... And... I think he's gone.
Would you look at that? We made it out of the cabin, and nothing bad had to happen to either of us. So this is the outside world. It's cold.
Hey, we got our second princess. I guess. But you do not get the chance to respond, nor will you ever. It's time to leave. Memory returns.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
Of course you're scared. This is the end for you. But it's not the end for me.
What is that supposed to mean? Whatever awful thing I felt before, it feels so much worse now.
No, that can't be right. There has to be something more.
Approach the mirror. You approach the mirror. Gaze into your reflection. Silence as you reach forward. They are gone once again. The mirror always makes them leave. But you need to see what's in it. You've grown. You've grown. You find yourself in the long quiet once again. Proceed to the cabin. You are at the cabin. Approach her.
When I found you in the long quiet alone, I was terrified. What if you had decided to let me wither? But your commitment now is final. Your ability to walk the path of mutual annihilation is vanished with your return. If you still wish to obliterate me, it will have to wait until I am complete. Flickering lights and empty cityscapes become pockets of vitality and movement. I am more than I was before. Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your slate clean once again.
Are you the same being as you were before? How much have you changed?
Is a child the same as an infant? I am an unbroken pattern, but every vessel gives fresh perspectives and carves new avenues of expression. I am different, but I am the same.
What does it feel like to change like this?
Eyes close in reflection. Perspectives meld together, and the breadth of my experience stretches to new corners. There are contradictions, conflicts in my nature, and there are familiarities that bind everything together. It feels correct. This is what I need to be. This is the only path forward.
When this is all done, do you know what you want to do?
With every gift you bring me, I excavate the alleys of what I am meant to be, and every exploration yields new and complicated truths. What I will be is different than what I am, and what I am is different from what I was. I cannot tell you what desires I will hold when I have changed. But in this moment, all I want is to know myself and to know you.
When I go back, it's as if an invisible wall closes around me. Why can I not do the same things I've done before?
Those paths lead to worlds you've already seen, and to perspectives I have already made my own. They are useless to us now, inaccessible. The only paths of value are those that are yet untread.
I see. Okay. I understand. You have been kinder to me than anyone else I've met. Thank you.
Why wouldn't I be kind to you? You are the only thing I know that isn't me.
What do you want me to bring you next time?
Gifts aren't what someone tells you to bring them. My joy is in seeing what you choose. There are no wrong answers, and every perspective illuminates my shadows and shares new secrets.
Interesting. Do you have any thoughts of this vessel?
This one is cold and cynical. She has protected herself when others could not. She will make for a clever heart. Do not mourn her. She doesn't need to be protected any longer.
Okay, I see what we're doing here. Okay. What do you feel about me? These vessels I've been bringing you, I've heard them.
The vessels are shaped by memories of you, but their impulses are drawn to the edge of the long quiet. To them, you are a gate to something more, and any hurt you've caused them is understood as a fair price for freedom. But they are only thoughts and perspectives. They are not me. The wounds they've suffered carve texture around my heart. Without them, I would be as I was before. I would be alone and without sensation. I could not feel the joy of having you by my side, for I would not know your absence.
So you don't have any preferences on how you'd like to change or grow?
My preference is for you to show me what you would like me to see. I cannot know the ways I wish to grow, for I have yet to feel them. It is you who guides me down the thin trail of perspective and memory.
How many more vessels do I need to bring you?
If I am to be an ocean, you have nurtured me into a pond. My waters are shallow and murky, and I yearn for more perspective. You will have your rest in due time, and I am sorry for the burdens I place on you.
I'm ready to go back.
I will long for your return, but it will give me time to reflect on what I am. We will meet again.
Everything goes dark, and you die. Okay. Back to chapter 1. The thing is...
You're on a path in the woods.
I'm
And at the
going
end of
to...
that path-
Nope. I'm gonna take... We're gonna end it here. I'm gonna save the video game. And then we're gonna head to the main menu and we're gonna end it for today. I'm feeling a bit under the weather today, so I'm really sorry for the short stream. I mean, quote-unquote short stream. That's basically my schedule, but whatever. So far, impressions of the game, it is very interesting, it is very confusing, I love it, and I cannot wait until Wednesday to continue on.